In this video, I'm going to run through the basics of product sourcing, of finding suppliers for your products to sell online. So, some considerations. First of all, we're going to look at scams, and we're going to look at minimum quantity orders, pricing and payments, lead time, and some basics on shipping methods. So first of all, scams. Now, this is probably one of the reasons why most people are afraid to import, and if you are going to get hit by a scam, it's usually because you've tried to purchase counterfeit goods. Okay, China, India, Taiwan, etc. are not the place to buy designer clothing, etc. You're not going to get the latest Gucci handbag from China. Okay, it's likely that if you do order those types of branded products from places or countries like China or India, that you will either A, receive counterfeit goods, or B, not receive anything at all. Okay, so just to be sure, I would highly recommend that you do not go down the route of trying to buy branded products from suppliers in China, India, etc. Okay, what I do want you to do is to choose non-branded products and still use due diligence. First of all, look for recommended suppliers on the websites that we use, such as Alibaba. Then look at, do they have an external website? Are they listing products elsewhere on their own website? Look at, is there a number that you can call, and actually try to call. It doesn't matter whether you can speak Chinese or not. If somebody picks up the phone, it's likely that they've got a registered office there. Ask for UK-based testimonials or testimonials from other people who've bought in your country, so that you can get an idea of the quality of the products and what this company was like to deal with. And finally, you've got the option to use a sourcing agent. There are companies out there that will literally go visit the factory on your behalf, check that everything is there, everything as it should be, and even negotiate on your behalf. Okay, so that's my recommendations when it comes to scams and trying to avoid them. The next thing that we want to talk about is minimum quantity order. This is something else that puts a lot of people off. Some suppliers have very large minimum quantity orders. They might ask you to order 1,000 or 2,000 pieces of a particular product. And when you first start out, it would be absolutely crazy to order 2,000 pieces of something when you've never really tested the marketplace. So when you place your first orders, number one, look for suppliers where their minimum quantity order is already lower, maybe around 20 to 30 pieces. And even that, I would go and ask, is it okay for you to start by ordering a sample? Explain that you've never used their company before, that you want to test the quality of the product, you want to test their product in the UK marketplace, and be willing to pay a little bit more for samples. Explain that you want samples and you'll pay a little bit more. And they might ask you to pay an extra 10 or 15% in order to get just samples versus paying an order. So like I say, use the samples to test the marketplace, and use the samples to test the quality of the product, the shipping times, etc. and make sure that that company is a good company to deal with ongoing. The next thing that we want to talk about is pricing. Now, usually when you request a price for your products, ask for an FOB price. This is free on board, and basically it means you want the price for the product alone minus shipping. Okay. Usually when they quote, they will quote in US dollars. So ensure that you do your currency conversion properly. Okay. There's a website called xe.com. If they quote you $765, go there, put it in, and it will tell you what that is in Great British pounds or euros or whatever you want to convert to. When it comes to pricing, negotiate. Okay, most of these suppliers are used to negotiation. It's part of the process. Okay, so don't just take for granted that's the price that they've put up there, that's what you've got to pay. Be willing to try to negotiate, and tell them your plans. Tell them that you might start off small, but if things go well, you would like to grow and hopefully become their UK distributor. Basically, if you can become a distributor for your country, it means that all products that come from that company into your country must come through you. So if other people start looking to purchase their products, they've got to come through you to buy it. That's the ideal situation for you to be in. And finally, when it comes to pricing and payment, usually you'll pay 30% deposit and 70% on receipt of shipping documents. So you'll pay a deposit, they will manufacture the goods, and then they will send you some shipping docs and you will pay the 70% balance. Okay, if it's a small order like just the samples, it's highly likely that you'll pay 100% upfront. Okay, usually these things are paid through via TT or telegraphic transfer. Okay, the next thing we just want to talk about is lead time. Lead time is the time that it takes for the company to manufacture your products. Okay, you've got to factor this into your forecasts. So for example, if you look from your research, you know that the majority of your sales are going to come from June through to September, and you've got X amount of time to really make the best of that, and you don't factor in 4 weeks lead time, it means you've got a month less selling time. Okay, so just to be sure that when you're doing your sales forecasts that you factor in manufacturing time, because it can take 21 days, 30 days, 60 days to manufacture the products, depending on what it is. Usually if it's a small sample order, they will have it to take straight off the shelf and send it straight out. Okay, let's talk about shipping methods. When it comes to shipping methods, there's two primary ways of doing it. One is by air, one is by sea. Okay, usually what you're looking at here is price versus speed. So if you want something really fast, it's going to have to come by air. It'll take probably 7 to 10 days. It can get here really quickly, but if it's a big product, it's going to be very costly. Okay, so if you are bringing things in by air, usually it's very small, light products. If you want to bring big, heavy things in, it's primarily going to be coming by sea, and it's probably going to take something like 4 weeks on the boat, and I would allow something like 10 to 14 days to get through customs at this side. Okay, so what I would suggest you do for more information on shipping, all the options available, all of the different shipping terms, go and check out our blog www.importpro.co.uk, and you'll see a whole host of information on there that will help you work through that. Okay, let's just talk a little bit now about the process that you go through when it comes to finding a supplier and getting the goods to you. So the first thing you would do is you go to a website like Alibaba.com and start searching through suppliers. Okay, remember that when you find a supplier on there, do some due diligence. Check that they are a recommended supplier. Check that they've got a website. Check that you can phone and somebody will answer at the other side. Okay. Once you've found a supplier that meets that description, ask for the product details. Now remember to ask for what certifications the product carries. So as the importer of a product, it's your job to make sure that it is a safe product. Okay, so if you speak to trading standards, it's your job to have the product actually tested in the UK. So get all of the CE marks, get all of the Roche marks to ensure that the product is a safe product for resale in the UK market. Once you've got details of the product, the next step is to get information on pricing and minimum quantity orders. So once you have the information on pricing and you know roughly how much they're expecting you to buy, remember to negotiate. Negotiate on both price and minimum quantity order. So what you might find is if the minimum quantity order is very high and you only want to start off with a handful of products, you may have to pay a slightly higher price to get the sample products, okay? But after that, you can start to negotiate on both price and the amount that you order. Once you have agreed a price and a minimum quantity order for a specific product, request a PI or pro forma invoice. This is basically an invoice that outlines what you're getting and how much you've got to pay. Then you will usually make the payment. Like I said earlier, if it's a sample order, you'll make 100% payment up front. And if it's a larger order, usually you'll pay by T, 30% deposit. They will manufacture the products, produce the shipping documents, send you the shipping documents, and then you will pay the 70% balance. Okay, so that covers points 7 and 8. The goods, they will then send the goods will arrive in the UK. I would highly recommend that you use an agent to clear customs. There's a lot of paperwork that goes into that, and it's not expensive to get somebody else to help you get your product through UK customs. Okay, finally, once it's cleared UK customs, you will get the products delivered to your door and then ready to sell. Okay, hope that's been useful, and for more detailed description on how-tos, check out our blog importpro.co.uk. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.